Thank you, Andrew. I always like to set my alarm here, so I can talk all day. I love talking very much. And more than talking, I'm very appreciative of RJ's invitation to come here today. This is a result of a mutual friend of ours not being able to make this. And I always like to open, when I talk about my disability, with where I'm going in my walk to help other disabled people. And I don't want to go into the details about it, but we have a mutual friend, RJ and I, that is going through a very difficult time with their disability. And I know for those of you that pray or can have good thoughts, this is an individual that could really use that. Hopefully someday he'll be here in my place talking to you about how he overcame what we went through in life. And my story is very much like his. And that is that my initial reaction to my disability was to rebel. As RJ alluded to, my plan out of high school was to enter the military. And it was, ironically, just 2 weeks before graduation that I got in a car accident that severely damaged my left leg. It shattered my femur. It put me in a drug-induced coma for about a month and a half. And completely changed the course of my life. And I think, in a way, caused me to revert somewhat in my level of maturity. I spent the next decade after that accident with a severely misshapen leg, a very bad attitude, and some sort of odd desire to do whatever I could to make my life as difficult, meaningless, and dangerous to other people as possible. Well, that obviously plays right into an employment record, 13, 14 jobs spanning a decade, going from, although I think I was progressing in one way or another, I did not make it to college, which is something I would have done if I would have went into the military. So it was basically the succession of one job after another. I learned a lot through the course of those years, but I don't think I impressed a single employer with what I had to offer. I'm positive that I didn't impress a single employer with what I had to offer. And it really took a great deal of refocus. It took finding my faith. It took the love of a beautiful and very, very patient woman coming into my life, the birth of my children, the tumultuous effect of 9/11, to change an attitude which had grown so sour, so poor, that even my own parents refused to take my phone calls. Well, how many in the room want to take a phone call from your son in jail? Well, that's where it was going for me. I was in jail, albeit from repeated vehicle code violations, but nonetheless, I was in our LA County jail system. And that was the culmination of a decade's worth of basically not caring. And I think about what I must have projected to those employers over that decade. The similar work ethic, a similar lack of ability to take responsibility when I make a mistake, had to have been presented to every single one of those employers. The code that I live by today of taking responsibility when something is my fault, striving to offer the very best product and to go beyond my client's expectations. This code of honor, which describes everything that I do in life today, was not in Kevin Korenthal through the 1990s. And I thank the Lord for what He's done in my life. I thank the Lord for the people He's put in my life. And not just the ones that I mentioned, but when I was ready to make a change in my life, my parents were there for me. And they came alongside of me and were supportive and pointed out when they thought that I was really making gains. And that obviously, when someone's telling you you're doing a good job, that motivates you to want to do some more. And through a couple of odd situations that kind of came across each other, I somehow found myself involved in politics. Especially after 9/11, a lot of people who weren't initially involved in this topic began studying more. I was one of those people. I found that I had a unique voice. I found that I had an ability to explain very complicated issues in a way that many individuals that would normally stay away from that information because of its complexity were able to understand. And I began showing that, and it earned me some accolades, it earned me some awards, and it earned me eventually a position with a prestigious trade association, the National Trade Association, representing building contractors, where I was given tremendous opportunity, not only to help grow my own skills, but participate in a movement towards merit-based employment that, again, has helped guide me as an individual and as a business owner in what I need to do to deliver the highest possible quality product at the lowest or most reasonable price possible. And I really am blessed to have had that opportunity. Having been blessed with a turnaround in my life, it has always been a real, it's always been heavy on my heart to try to use what I've learned in life and what I've been through to help others. And that's why I got involved with organizations like the Challenged Athletes Foundation. CAF provides grants to wounded warriors, children born without limbs, other limb loss sufferers, so that they can get involved in recreational sporting activities. I know that CAF was one of the organizations that came alongside me very early when I eventually made the decision to have the misshapen leg amputated. For those that want to know, like, specifically, I don't know if you can see it, but there's my prosthetic leg right there. The CAF really being a prime organization to help me better my life now that I'm an amputee has done this to thousands and thousands of people across the country, not just here in California where they're located, but all over the world. Actually, they've sent, along with prosthetic organizations, they've sent prosthetists and sports clinic individuals all over the world. They've helped create entire Paralympic running teams. Just a fantastic organization, CAF.org, if you ever have an opportunity to go there and perhaps make a small contribution to their effort. They're doing wonderful things. Along with being involved with CAF, I was given the opportunity to be a peer counselor for other amputees and limb loss sufferers. And, without divulging gruesome details of that mirror in a lot of ways the story I've been telling you today, I've met some real hard cases, some people with some very severe chips on their shoulder who, unlike myself, who had some time to plan for the actual amputation itself, woke up in a hospital with missing limbs. And if you can imagine what missing something so incredibly important means for you, what we're talking about here is a life-changing event. And the fact that someone would come and have a bad attitude after that is really not, I think, that surprising. But being able to be involved with helping them see that there's life after losing a limb, more than whatever I can do in my career for the rest of my life, and I'm helping some wonderful organizations, nothing will top what I'm doing in the volunteer effort in helping amputees get maybe a little faster through the very same decade-long trial and tribulation that I went to understand that, not only is life not over, but you have a new life ahead of you, a life where you have an opportunity to pass on what you've gone through and what you've learned to help others do the very same thing. And I want to again thank RJ and the entire organization for giving me an opportunity to tell my story, and I guess we're going to be available right now to answer some questions that you may have, and thanks again.